So how do you keep your brands healthy? Well, one thing is you focus on relevant attributes, develop appropriate top-of-mind awareness. You want to know why they buy, and you want to know who they are. And these are the things we do in this class over and over and over. And we're going to get to how you do that in just a minute. So let's take a look at football. What we're going to be trying to tackle next week, next Wednesday, because we have Monday off, is what we can do to get more people to go to Cornell football games. But in particular, we want to focus on one of the three segments where there's the most potential. What are three segments of Cornell students that do not go to football games? Yeah. Engineers. Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right. Yeah, okay, engineers. Yeah. Okay. Good. Think broadly about the segment. Who are three segments of people here at Cornell that just don't? They're totally underrepresented at football games.
International students.
Yeah, international students, because it's a weirdo sport. Okay. What would be another segment? Women. And the third segment tend to be graduate students. Many of which are in engineering, of course. Okay. So the idea is, what could we do? Let's pick women. What can we do to get more women to go to football games? Now, the first thing we would want to do, though, the first thing we want to do is we want to figure out why people don't buy. We've got to figure out why women don't go to games. And how can we do that? Yeah. How do you want to ask them? Because none of you guys said you went to games. So what would you do? You get together a group of these people and say, why don't you go to games? Okay. What else could you do? That'd be one you could do, kind of like a focus group like that. What else?
Ask them what they usually do on Saturdays.
Ooh, very good. Ask them what they usually do on Saturdays. You could do it through surveys. You could do it through focus groups. You could do it through individual interviews. But the second thing we'd want to do that's going to get us a lot closer, that just tells us why they don't do it. And people can usually know why they don't do it. But what we want to replicate is we want to find the wacky fanatic. There's the girls who go to every game, whether they're winning or losing, who actually cheer, who actually care what happens. Because if we could find out why that person's as wacky as she is, we can sort of replicate those things in other people. Okay? We can figure out how to tap into it so that other people feel the same way. Now, this is what you're going to be doing for next week. Now, you're not going to be laddering football games. We're just going to be doing that in class. You're going to be choosing any product or service you want to, and you're going to find a whacked out champion, and you're going to ladder that person to figure out why they are so fanatical about that. This is going to be the laddering exercise. And the amazing thing about this is that if you wait and you do it the very last night, it's really, really obvious. Because this takes a lot of thought. And the way we set up classes here is that a lot of the classes are kind of, they're fun. You get some ideas about how to do some things. But the homeworks are really, really difficult. And this takes a lot of thought. And if you blow it off to the last day, it will assuredly not be that great. You'll be getting your homeworks back in a little bit. And they're right on spot of what we expect. But the average grade is about a 2.4, 2.5, okay? Because what we're really looking for in this class is for you to develop the ability to generate insights, okay? Not to parrot something back, but to generate insights. And so that's why these assignments end up being so important. Okay? And you can pick anything you want. Like I said, this entire class ends up being shaped by whatever your particular interest is. There's very few times when you're ever going to have to do X. You can usually do X in whatever context you want. And next week's going to be one of them. But we're looking today at football, okay, and how we do this. Now, you're going to do some laddering. We'll give you a little taste of laddering. I asked if there was a football fanatic, and Anna said she's a football fanatic. And then Emily said that what she would do is she would draw the ladder for Anna. So, Anna, if you want to come down here. Just grab it. Take a knee. No, just sit up. So this would be kind of what your laddering interview would be like, except you wouldn't be doing it in front of 80 other people. And you wouldn't be doing it over the phone. You wouldn't be doing it while somebody's trying to surf their email or read Facebook, because what you're going to get is nothing. You're going to get nothing valuable. You're going to get some really basic things like, she likes it because it's high quality. Okay. So what we do is we probably find some place where it's really quiet. It might be a corner of a cafe. It might be, if it's a good friend, it might be, back in the dorm or fraternity house or wherever. And I'd go, why is it that you like football so much? Yeah, sure.
I grew up watching football. It's my favorite sport. I think it's a great sport because it has a lot of individual talent that gets brought together to be a team that ultimately beats another team, which is like something you can really get behind because you usually pick your favorite and you cheer for them.
Okay. So why do you like watching one team beat another?
Because like if your team wins, then you kind of feel like you won a little bit too, even though you just kind of sat there and watched them work out for a while. It's kind of nice.
So why is it important for you to feel like you win, even though it's sort of through other people?
Because like I'm a supporter of them, and I feel like it matters because they need to have a good, solid fan base and know that what they're doing is actually worthwhile, and they're not just going out there to make some money or to win a college football game and then go back home.
Okay. So why is it important for you to feel supportive?
It's also something like that you can look forward to, like every Thursday and every Sunday, teams are going to be playing. It's like you've had a rough week and then you get to just like drink soda and with your friends and like go crazy for a couple of hours and just like watch it play out.
Get tanked up in that Diet Coke? Yeah. Good. So you mentioned supportive. Why else is it important for you to feel supportive?
It's like usually your family and you share the same like favorite team, so it's something that you can share with them as well. You can talk about it afterwards. You're like, oh, DeMarcus Ware played so great today, and I don't know. It's just something that you can talk about for a while after.
So why do you like talking about those things?
Because it's something that's not, it's like really important to you because you care about it, but it's not on the same level as like your homework or a job or something that's really intense and stressful. So it's something you can connect with friends and family about that matters, but not the same way that like a grade would matter or something.
So do you like basketball as much as you like football?
I like basketball, but I don't like any sport as much as football.
Why do you like football better than basketball? It's a team sport. There's individuals in it.
Football is like an American tradition, which I really like, and it requires, like basketball requires great skill, but football is like there's more risk of injury, there's more like on the line, and they're like really fighting for it, and they have to come up with all these different plays. Basketball has plays too, but it's like more people that have to come together. Yeah, football is just like, it's a lot of strategy and adjustment and risk and power and strength.
Good. Now what would happen is this interview would probably go on for about another 20 minutes because I'd keep going back and say, why else do you like football so much? Or, why do you like it compared to this or that? And we'd start developing a very rich ladder. And I hope, Emily, were you able to capture parts of that? Oh, good. But so what you do is, when she's talking, you would draw the stuff, and every thought is connected with a line, okay? And what would happen is at the end of your interview, I've done, I don't know, thousands of these, or 1,000 of them, and still, it's hard for me to do them in less than 40 minutes, okay? So just keep that in mind, because if you're through in 20 minutes, kind of go, I guess that wraps it up. Chances are it's going to be really pretty thin. Okay. Let's give Anna a hand, though. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Yeah, thanks. I appreciate that. So in the meantime, what Emily's done is she's mapped this out. And Anna threw out a whole bunch of stuff. I guarantee that when you first talk to a person, they're not going to be as loquacious as she was. But I think one thing that happened with her is we kind of went through a trial run here just while you guys are talking about the products. So she'd had a chance to think about this, but don't feel upset if you really have to work hard at getting stuff out of your person. Okay, so the initial attributes she mentioned. Beep, beep. Okay, I'm just going to put it right here. So she said, okay, and I goes, yeah, I really like it. I grew up with it. It's a really great sport. It's American. Now, these all didn't come out at the same time, but those are basically attributes. And most of the time, when you ask somebody, most of the time when you ask somebody, oh, it's my mom. My 85-year-old mom, she probably doesn't know why it happened, but anyway. I'm not kidding, actually, yeah. So these tend to be the attributes that are kind of at the bottom. Okay, you grew up with it, a great sport, American. Now, people typically when they say why they like something, that's what they do. They don't say it makes me feel good. They say I like. They give the attributes. We say, well, you grew up with it, so why is that important? Well, I feel supportive when I do things. It's something I like to share with my family. We talk afterwards. We connect. It's easier to connect to it. Yeah, right. And so what we're trying to do is we're trying to say, well, why is that important? Well, why is that important? Because the farther we go up the ladder, the closer we're going to get to what real core values are to a person. Okay? It's a great sport. Why do you like it? Well, one team wins. You feel like you win when your team won. It's also there's strategy. There's kind of a risk of injury. It's dramatic. Team comes through. And then, of course, you drink soda when you're at the game. Now, what would happen is we'd probably find a whole bunch of other people not just like Anna, who are fanatics like Anna. We'd do ladders for all of them, and what we do is we integrate them together. We put them all together, because by doing that, we're going to get sort of like this mind meld of what a fanatic might look like. And once we do that, then what we can do is we can say, okay, well, so what would be the implications for the 4 Ps? And we can start looking at these things and say, okay, how would I change the game? Now, you're not going to change the rules of the game, but there's a lot of things you can change. How would you change the product? Now, you can't change the game, but there's a lot of things you could change that happen at the game. You might say, hey, what implications might this have for promotion? And so on. Okay? So you get a chance to do that for next Wednesday. Now, for these assignments, from here on out, there's 2 assignments that you could do the night before and it'd probably work okay. But the rest of them, if you don't get a head start on these things, you're really going to find yourself having some difficulties. Okay, we've got the assignments for you for last week, and Krista and Joel will be calling your names and handing them out. And we'll see you in a week. Have a nice Memorial Day. Oh, yeah, if you're one of these people, come down.